Ta-da! Welcome back. Well, this week it's all about traveling. It is. Actually, what it's all about is the fact that I've had to make some decisions. And a big part of those decisions is about my employment and income and doing the right thing. Yep. Anyway, got some paperwork. That one's Ministry of Justice. And that says, can I have my information about who I am? Next page is the merit points. And according to this, I have no demerit points against my name. Lovely. Even better is this. New Zealand criminal history. And it states that I have no convictions based on who I am. See, it's all there in paper. You got to pay for this. Well, yeah. Oh, a letter of reference from the people I work for. Yep. So it's taken me a few weeks now because I've been doing this in the quiet to, get on board. And with that, so much paperwork, I knew I was going to start this journey. And it's taken me, as I say, a few weeks. But I made the decision, because that was the biggest part, was making the decision about what am I going to do with myself. Got this lovely orchard, beautiful place to live. Yeah, no, it is. I love living here. And but my income is way below what I can afford. The trucking industry in New Zealand, yeah, you know what they say, pay peanuts, you get a circus. Just watching a pukeko run across the driveway there. Anyway, so I'm going to get you to come along on the journey. We're going to go, and this week is all about taking the next steps now that I've done all this. So I need to fly from here to Brisbane to sort out my license, because I used to have an Australian license when I lived in the Gold Coast. So I'm off to Brisbane to get my what they call multi-class license, which is the equivalent of a New Zealand a New Zealand Class 5 license. Now, a lot of you will know, like, if you're going to go and do this, that you can't just swap your license out in somewhere like Victoria or New South Wales. But in Brisbane, as long as you've got a letter of reference stating the classes that you have driven in your truck, the combinations, which I have from my employer, you can actually get your license swapped over. So that's in Queensland. So I'm going to Queensland for the week. I fly out on Monday morning, and so I'm just enjoying the weekend here at the orchard. Just did my last day yesterday at Linehorn. So just for I can come back and fill in any time I like with Linehorn. So I'm going to go and do that, and yeah. So let's go and get on a plane, and let's go to Brisbane, and let's try and see the procedure to get this license all sorted out. You've got to do a whole lot of stuff. There's all sorts: Medicare, license, bank account. Yeah, you've got to have an address. So I was luckily enough, I got a government letter sent to a cousin's address in Australia. So that will be my mailing and address for now until I get permanently set up. Because where I'm going, it's hot. There's not a lot to do except drive a truck with a lot of trailers behind it, carting iron or. But anyway, let's start. Let's go. On the plane we go. Well, towards the plane. 5:30 start. Wow! Haven't done an early morning start for a while. Yeah. Anyway, it is like Friday, and now it's like I'm getting excited because I fly out to Brisbane on Monday. This whole journey is just getting more and more. It's taken a long time. I've spent that last 6 weeks trying to get all that paperwork together that I had to get together. But now I'm going to Aussie and I'll get the licenses sorted out and all the other things. So keep watching, I'll show you how you do it. Well, that's right, yes, it's not the same truck I had like 2 minutes ago, but actually hours ago. Okay, so we started the day with the grey Volvo in Tauranga at 5:30, and now we've just jumped into this red Scania. We're in Bombay Hills, we're heading back to Tauranga. They're making the most of me on this last day. By the way, it was pretty, a bit of a bummer to hear about Ace dying this week. Yep. And people think I'm mad when I collect this stuff, but, I have posters of She Had, Hot Chocolate, John Rolls, Kimbra, Spandau Ballet, and Kiss. So these are like promotion posters for concerts, and I collect them. I don't know. My addictive nature is pretty addictive, but yeah, there you go. Not many of them around. Have you got one? Well, the journey is beginning. So come on, let's go do this. Off to Auckland we go. Hey guys, I've started the journey. I said we're going on the journey. Well, you would not believe my luck running into Scotty.
Hey bro, how are you?
Remember Scotty and me did a big interview about mental health stuff?
Yeah.
Look, he's got his camper here. We're out by Afrinry.
That's me, yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Just seen a monarch butterfly. My dad loved monarch butterflies, and the monarch butterfly was flying around us. How's that?
I did.
Yeah, I reckon, eh?
Yeah.
So when you see Scotty, you beep and toot and say hello.
Yeah. And you have the best journey ever, bro.
Oh yeah,
over
brother.
in Oz, eh?
Oh yeah,
Take care
yeah.
of yourself.
So good to catch up with him. I'll see you soon.
See you.
Ta-da. So here I am at Auckland Airport. It's about 3:30 in the morning. I know, right? But anyway, this is where I've got to start the journey for real now. So I've just checked in, and I think the boarding's at 5:40 or something, and the flight leaves at 6 or just after 6 to Brisbane. That's where we're going, Brisbane. Now I'm going to go over with you on all of the paperwork I've had to deal with. Yes, a lot of paperwork. So this is just the first sort of part. Well, actually the first part was getting all of my stuff done here in New Zealand, which was my police check, my demerit points check, getting a letter from my employer to state that I have been driving the classes of vehicle which is equivalent to MC in Australia. So we have class 5 here, but over there it is MC license. Now I'm lucky in the sense that I already held a HC license, well, HR license, sorry, in Queensland. So that's why I'm going back to Queensland, is to actually do that, to get that license updated there. So in the rest of the show, you're going to see me going to certain places. I've got to go to something called Services Australia, which will help with my Medicare, and sorting out my tax file number, which I previously had, so I would imagine that it's still the same number. And then I've got to go and open up some bank accounts, because obviously the mines are going to want to put money into my bank account, but it has to be an Australian one. So I'm going to set all that up. So that's what this next few days is going to be. I've got a rental car waiting for me over in Brisbane, and my beautiful wife has booked me to a accommodation in Brisbane for 3 nights, and then I've got 2 nights down on the Gold Coast, where I'll be catching up with some people that I used to work with when I lived over there, and I'll show you where we used to live, in a really cool big tall building that's right on the beach between Surfers Paradise and Burleigh Heads. I think it's Burleigh Heads. Broad Beach, there it is. Let's go. Look at all them trees. Pretty cool. Ta-da! Well, here I am. There's that place. Brisbane. There's a river. You know, life is like a river. If it gets chocked up with sticks and logs and stuff, you know, the water stops flowing and then it becomes stagnant. Don't let yourself get stagnant. It's not a good idea. Anyway, it's been a mission, I've got to tell you. What I thought was basically straightforward. Well, let's go straight back. And that's how I felt yesterday after I landed here to try and get this sorted out. And discovered that I didn't have everything that I was supposed to have. I know, right? So you've got to be organised. So I've had to arrange for some paperwork to be sent back to me from over there to be able to carry on with the journey. But it is a beautiful day. It's like 6:30 in the morning, and you know, like my shirt says, it is what it is. It is what it is, and I'll just have to deal with it. I was a bit stressed, and I kind of was venting yesterday a bit. You know how you vent? Yeah. Yeah, well, no, I was. Bugger. But today, the second day of the journey, things are happening, and I'm making sure that I get all my ducks in a row, because you've got to have all your ducks in a row, apparently. That's what they do in Australia. There's some lovely birds here. Yeah, ibis, they're bloody annoying. And there's crows. They dive bomb you. Magpies and crows. The sun's up, and you can't go wrong. So yesterday, as I say, was a bit of a problem. Where I thought I had the right paperwork to get the license swapped over, I was way off. And also, I came here. I had not been in Australia for about 11 years, and so I went to go and try and get my Medicare card sorted out. Problem being, because I'd been out of the country for over 5 years, everything was kind of wiped, and so I've had to go through a whole process of getting numbers and all sorts of shit. And apparently you've got to have visa. So in New Zealand we can apply for a special visa, which is called a 444 visa, to be able to work and do the stuff that we need. So I have applied for that, and I've got that number now. They gave it to me late yesterday afternoon because of being a Kiwi citizen and because we all went to war together. Some of us. And so they gave me all that, and so I'm going to use those numbers today. I've got a form for my Medicare that I've got to take back to the Services Australia office. So you've got to go through all that Services Australia office. I'm wondering what this bloke's up to. Could be cousins. Probably not. But lovely here. I'm enjoying it. I got up with a positive attitude this morning because I tell you what, your mental health doing this can suffer severely. You just get pissed. And I got quite pissed about it. But I've woken up. She's a beautiful day. The Cliffs Broadwalks is where I'm at. So I just wanted to show you where you come down here and you can look out there. There it is. Absolutely cool. There's a lot of walkways here. So there's people walking up and down stairs and out through there and all that sort of stuff. Someone's got their camera gear all set up over there. I could get famous and maybe never come back. Probably not. Alright, so upwards and onwards. I'll update you later. I've got to go and get a bank account today, and I've also got to ring up and get my tax file number, because apparently that stays in place, but Medicare and all that doesn't after the 10 years of not being here. 11 years. Yeah. Alright. See you soon. Ta-da! Okay, so it's day 3 and I'm still doing some paperwork and got my papers back that I sent back to New Zealand from my previous employer who's filled those out for me. And so today I'm waiting on a letter to arrive at the address that I'm staying at to confirm my address there. And then I'll be able to go to the Roading Transport Division people here in Australia and hopefully update my license. But while I'm here, I'm actually in the Gold Coast this morning because Gold Coast 500's on for supercars, which I didn't actually know, but now I do. So that's going to be the next couple of days. I'll be bringing some stuff from there. But first, I used to work for a guy, and many years ago when I lived in the Gold Coast, I was sitting in a bus stop and I was looking for a job, and a truck drove past and it says drivers needed. So I rang the number and the guy said, can you come out to Nerang, which is a suburb in the Gold Coast. So I went out to Nerang and he hired me. Turkish chap, yeah, by the name of Aussie, of all things, Aussie. Yeah, and had a company called Aussie's Transport Services. The hat. See, this is my hat from when I worked at Aussie's Transport Services. And over the years, you know, I worked for him for about 3 years, something like that. And I even worked for him down at his Melbourne branch. I went and helped set that up for him. And also here in the Gold Coast and up Brisbane Way and Sydney. So he doesn't know I'm in Australia right now, and I haven't seen him for well on 12 years, something like that, 10 to 12 years. And he has a new company, it's called Montana Transport, but he doesn't know I'm here. So I'm going to go and surprise him and see how it goes. So come and meet Aussie. Okay, so I can see him. He's sitting in there. Doesn't know I'm here. Hasn't seen me yet. So let's go and meet Aussie. Let's go and see this bloke. So he's sitting there and he doesn't realise. Oh! See, I told you. Oh, my brother. How are you? I'm videoing for my YouTube, mate. I fucking said to him, I'm going to see my best bloody Turkish mate ever.
Chill. Hey, look who's behind you.
Oh, James! Oh, it's like bloody Trouble City again.
Hello, my bro.
Ta-da! I'm on Chevron Island, and many moons ago I used to live right there, that window. That was my room. I came to Australia, and I was telling you about when I first met Aussie. I came here to, there was floods back then in 2011, I think it was, or 2010, something like that. And I arrived here with a backpack, and that's where I lived for like 3-4 months on Chevron Island, in that place there. Wow, always loved the place. Can't go wrong, eh? No. Surface. Even decided to get a t-shirt. Yeah, I got the t-shirt. So when I come back, well, now that I'm going to be staying in the Gold Coast, but not till tomorrow night, because I've got to go back to Brisbane and sort out stuff up at Sunny Hills in Ipswich. But when I come back, I'm going to be staying in that place there. Looks good. My wife does know how to look after me. And I'm right across the road from, that big thing. Oh, I won't let the sun blind you. It's called Q1 over there. And that's called Breeze In. Bloody hope so. Ta-da! So when I first came here, like in 2010, I believe it was, so I was living on Chevron Island, and then managed to get a job and move on up. And I moved on up all right to Breakers North, right there. And we lived in the, we were on the 5th floor. Yep. And then again so I've lived there twice. I lived there in the 5th floor, and then when I came back again, I lived on the 7th floor. Yeah, great place. But now they've got that big monstrosity right there, that one. It's called the Jewel. There used to be this ugly like thing there before, but now it's called the Jewel. But I have some really great memories of that that place there. Some really cool memories at Breakers North. Ta-da! So I got up earlier this morning, And yeah, just having a look around. Do love the Goldie, but I've got to say it's changed. Definitely changed. But that's okay, because today we're off. We're going to go to the supercars. Last night I went for a walk in there. Funny story. But anyway, I got in there and I was able to have a look around, and you know how it goes. But today will be about doing all that. So many high-rises. I miss this place. It used to be a funky place. Hey lads, there's some serious kit here. All these rigs with their big trailers. This is a huge car park just full of the buggers. Absolutely awesome. Anyway, I'm going to go and find the gate, see what it's going to cost me to get into this place, and then tomorrow, well no, today I'm going to stay here and watch this. Tomorrow I'll go back to New Zealand. Woo! Nothing like coming to the Gold Coast, to the supercars, and what are they playing? Headless Chickens, Cruise Control. Well, I'll be. There you go. Well, it's Friday. Bloody hot. You can hear cars practicing in the background. I'm in the show and shine, and there's some amazing vehicles here. Anyway, let's have a look. Hey guys, I'm with Cole, and this is his beautiful XW.
XW, yeah.
Yeah.
5th month 70. Come out.
And you said you're running 302 with
Yeah, 302 Windsor.
single rail top loader.
Top loader.
Yep.
Limited slip diff. That's how it come from the factory. So
And did you do a restoration on it?
yeah, resprayed it with its original colour, Starlight Blue. Yeah. So I've just tried to keep it how it comes from the factory.
Oh, she looks beautiful.
Yeah.
You'd eat your dinner off it, guys.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Just put a little cam in it.
Oh.
That's pretty well standard other than that.
I do like the look of that motor. You would have seen just as I put that in the video there.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no.
Oh, lovely to meet you, mate. Have a good weekend.
Yeah, you too. Take it easy, eh?
One, zero, zero, one.
Now that's a Barra, brothers. And a Mustang.
Ta-da! And just like that, I'm back home. Anyway, I'm back in the shed, the man shed. It's a bit windy or wet out there. A little bit of drizzle coming in. I've been watching the supercars on the TV inside because I had that already booked before I went to Australia. Anyway, while I was there, I got these. Some more for the collection. And funnily enough, while I was there, look at this one. That's Mad Mike's RX3 wagon. And yeah, I found that and I thought, gotta have that one. So I got that. And while I was there, I thought, well, I do like a good 69. And so I got one. And transit vans have always been a favourite of mine. There we go. Look, transit van. Custom transit van. Monsters of the Universe edition. And while I was there, I got my brother this one. This is Oswheels. And it's an XD Falcon 79 with the supercharger on it. Which I'll give to him when I see him again. And they'll go up there on the collection wall with the rest of them. Right. Now, let's assess everything that's happened this last week. Because I want you guys to know that if you're planning on going to Australia to get your MC license upgraded, there are a lot of things you need to know that they don't tell you. I had a bugger of a time, really, to be honest. But I achieved it by getting the MC license. And now I've got an interview again with MGM on Tuesday. They do phone interviews for the Kiwi guys. So I'll be waiting for that interview on Tuesday, and I'll update you in a reel during the week as to what happens with that. But I'm prepping myself because I believe that I will get over there and do what I want to do. It's in my it's a thing I want to do. Now, I had a great time. I caught up with my mate Aussie, and I got to go to the supercars. So, the trip wasn't a total letdown, really. But it cost a lot of money, I'll be honest. The cost of going there, the airfares, the accommodation, the rental car, and the running around really, really took a lot to get that done. But I want to show you some things that will hopefully help you in the future if you go and decide to go over there and try and get your MC license or work in the mines, whichever. Right, let's have a look. Righto, so the first steps I took was to get my New Zealand Justice Department reports. So stating whether you've had any criminal convictions or anything like that. And I had to go to the New Zealand Justice Department online and apply for those, and they give you an authority. You got to print it off and you got to sign it, and that will allow them to act on your behalf. So the things that you will need from them are your criminal report, and also your demerit points and suspension history, which is it's a must-have. If you don't have that, forget trying to apply for a job over there. So your demerit points sheet will come back like that. You also have this authority here, which you get from go online and you get all that. And there's your Justice Department convictions list. Mine's clear, nothing registered against me. Also, I had a letter from my employer, which I believed at the time. I was told that that's all I would need. No way, you need a lot more than that. So, but you still need that. And obviously this is my application for working in the mines type of thing. Now, the first issue I did run into was my Medicare card. I had lived in Australia before and I'd driven over there. I had expired HR license, which allowed me to drive back then, and that expired in 2014. but I'd been living back here. So my last employment was 2014, which was that license. And I thought, well, if I go there and I present that license and take my license, and I have a letter from my employer, that would be it. No. Not even. Right, so the first thing I had to sort out was getting a Medicare card. Now, my Medicare card from when I last lived there had expired. So anything, if you're out of the country over there for 5 years or over, it all expires. That's it, they wipe it. Except for one thing, I'll go on and I'll tell you about that in a minute. So the first thing I had to do was go to Services Australia. So they have an office over there, and you can find them anywhere. Services Australia. You need to go in there, and you need to apply with to get a Medicare card, which is all linked. It's all linked to a big system over there. I'll remember the name in a minute, I'll tell you. But anyway, so I went and got things started with that. But my issue was, I had a letter from my cousin stating that I was staying at her place and things like that. No, they will not accept that. They will not accept it at all. There is a format of things that they accept, which actually goes into summarisation of what you need to get the Medicare card. It's a big process. It's just not easy doing it straight off the bat. So legal documents that they consider: contract of property purchase, lease, rental document, mortgage, land ownership certificate, electricity gas bill, internet or landline telephone account. Excludes mobile. Okay, so even if you got your mobile and it's got your number on it, it's not going to work. The other one is Queensland local government rates notice, which you probably wouldn't have, and Queensland land tax valuation notice, which most people wouldn't. So those things you probably don't have. You have a current or previous financial year Australian tax notification, which you won't because you're from Kiwi land. Visit a transport or motor customs service centre in your school uniform. Don't think so. So anyway, to get this done, what I had to do was go to the bank, open my bank accounts, and luckily enough I'd had bank accounts there before. So for me, the one thing that was consistent was the bank account stayed open, even though I hadn't been using it. So for like the last 12 years, Westpac had kept my bank account open. Probably a good thing for me. So they have reset all my bank accounts. Problem being, they will not accept, for the license swap, they will not accept bank statements. And what was explained to me was that there are too many people coming from New Zealand who weren't originally born in New Zealand, and they're coming here, doing a couple of years here, and then going over there, and they're fraudulently doing paperwork. So this is quite a big thing that's going on, but nobody talks about this. So that's what happened, and they changed the rules. So that makes it a lot harder for genuine people trying to do this who were born in New Zealand. I had to go through a total system. So basically, I got this, which is a copy of a Medicare card thing, and you can go online and download the app. Now the problem being with that is that they will not give you a paper copy of your Medicare card. As you can see, I've got to wait for the cards to arrive. So after running around trying to figure that out, I learned that you go in there and you ask them to help you load the app on your phone, and that will have the address that you're staying at in the app, which then you can actually use as confirmation of your address in Australia. for doing your license transfer. The other things that they need when they're doing your license, you need to have 3 forms of ID. Yes, 3 forms of ID. So you've got to have your, and they won't accept your passport, your birth certificate or a marriage certificate. They will accept your New Zealand driver's license, current. They will accept your birth certificate, not your birth certificate, your passport. And you also have to have 2 bank cards with your name printed on them. Yes, be aware of that. Also a letter from your employer stating that you have finished up. So basically a termination of employment letter from your New Zealand employer with a contact detail. And in that letter also must be their New Zealand business number or GST number, because they won't accept it if you ain't got either of those on that letter. Once you get all that and you've got your Medicare card, you can actually go back and apply for your license. Problem being, you have to fill out a form stating exactly, your employer has to fill out this form here. There you go. Multi-combination driving experience declaration. Okay, so this here states who you are, who your bosses were, who you work for. On the back, this has to be filled in with every vehicle that you drove for that company. Okay, so they have to know exactly when you were driving those vehicles, weights, times, stuff like that. And you also have a driver declaration, which is a supervisor. So someone in that company has to have supervised you driving those vehicles. Trust me, this is not easy. It really, I just about gave up 28,000 times. I really wanted to walk away, but my determination got me to where I am now. So I went back to the transport place after they'd sent me away, and I got back there and I had everything that I thought was right until. So what they don't tell you, even though you have this filled out and you have a letter from your employer, a reference letter, which I have, no, it's still a no. Because without this, I don't know if you can see that, okay, confirmation of the valid registration period and gross combined weight of the truck and trailer combination operated in New Zealand. This may be obtained by the registered operator emailing info@nzta.gov.nz or govt.nz and attached to the declaration. I was like, it's 4:20 in the afternoon and you want that? They close at 4:30. This was on Wednesday. And at that point, my stress level was like, you've got to be joking. I've just got all this other stuff. Stuff I was never told about on the phone when I was actually talking to those people for information. They don't tell you everything. With that, I was lucky. I rang my employer back in Kiwiland and said, mate, if I explain this, can you tell me what they're wanting? And he says, do you know what? We've got those. I'm going to send you the thing for those trucks right now. So they had it all on record. And so they sent it through to me in an email, and which I forwarded on to the lady at the counter. And so she said, okay, right, cool, we're done. You've got to come in tomorrow and answer a 10 question questionnaire, and you have to get 8 right. So there's I believe it was 14 questions in all, and it's a mix You know, it's multi answer thing, but you get given 10 questions, and it's like it's called a practice driver's road heavy test, Queensland, because I did Queensland. So I went in, and so it was like 4:30. I said, I'm not doing the test now. I needed to study the questions. So I went back, and then on Thursday, I went back in the morning and sat the test. And happily for me, confirmation that I have an MC license. There we go. Headache, total headache. But be assured that if you do not do that, you will get nowhere. And they don't care. They don't care. You've got to have what they want. The 10 questions thing, easy. If you study it, you go over it like, do yourself like 10 tests. You can take 10 tests. It's easy. And you pick it up straight away. It's all up here. But be aware, if you are not 100% into this, it's not even worth trying, because you're not going to get it. You've got to push and push. I'm glad to say I got the MC license. I had a good time. I was able to go and do some things while I was over there, which for me, going to the supercars was awesome. But this cost me a lot of money. I've probably spent in the vicinity of $3,000 so far. So that was accommodation up in Brisbane for 3 nights, 2 nights down on the Gold Coast, a rental car, and I got my wife is one of these avid get a bargain people. She got the rental car for like $290, brand new brand new Subaru Forester. Loved it. And that was unlimited Ks. I just had to make sure I returned it with a full tank of gas, which cost me $100. And that it was clean. The accommodation in Brisbane was like at a house. It was like you have a room, but it's a shared house thing. That was $100 a night. Then down on the Gold Coast, I got accommodation at the motel thing. There was like $200 a night. It was okay. And then of course, I did spend a bit of money cruising around and looking and buying stuff. Well, like those cars and things like that. Oh, and a t-shirt. Love the Gold Coast. But I walked away with that license. Now I'm in a position where I actually can, control the situation. Rather than being told what to do, I can actually demand what I want. So this week I'm waiting for the company to ring me back. As soon as I sent down the copy of that license to them, or over to them in Western Australia, they rang me straight back. It's been a hassle, but they want to do another interview on Tuesday, which they've pushed me through to the next level, and that level is where you find out where they're going to put you and what they're offering. So I'm waiting to hear on that on Tuesday. They ring me at 6 o'clock Tuesday night, because they over there it'll be 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and I will hopefully before too long be back in Australia. Well, hopefully over in Western Australia, getting into the mines. It's not easy, and it's a long way from home, and you're going to be a long time away from home, like 8 weeks, 4 weeks off. Sure, they fly you there, they put you in accommodation, and they feed you. But you've got to be mentally assured and know in your head that's what you want. No point doing it if you don't think you can actually get through it mentally, because you've got to be mentally strong to do it. I got so many knockbacks in that last week with, you know, running around, government papers, doing all that. But I can be proud of what I've done. And I'm going to keep you all updated as I go, you know. Well, I've got this video channel to keep going. And I have to look around my shed. There's so much stuff I've got to get done before I go, because I need to make sure everything's secure for like 8 weeks. And so my wife and daughter can look after the orchard and everything else while I'm away. But I've enjoyed it. I hope you have enjoyed the information that I've been able to give you. And hey, if you have any issues, look me up on Facebook. It's Sharky Tingara. You can't miss that. And send a friend's request, whatever, and I'll be able to help you with any answers that I can. And hopefully you'll be able to get what you're looking for. Well, after such a long week, I'm going to go back and watch the rest of the supercars for the last race over there. It's a long weekend here, Monday off. And I think I'm going to pop myself a beer, because I deserve one after all of that. And it was awesome to catch up with my mate Ozzy. See my mate Ozzy. Also catching up with Scotty before I left at the beginning of the video there. And just going, the people you meet in your life that you remember forever. And whether you've known them a short time or a long time. And always remember this. Always do what you love. And love what you do. Have a great week. Catch you soon.